Hi, my name is Jordan Elizabeth Gelber. I was just interviewed by Keith Andrew on his network, and I had such a great time. Keith's an amazing host, and he really asked some great questions and has been really supportive about the entertainment industry, and I definitely recommend working with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 497. That's right, it's 497. I am your host, Keith Andrew, the one and only Keith Andrew, and you're watching the KeithAndrewNetwork.com. Today, we have a very special guest. She is an upcoming actress and her very own CEO of her own company, Jordan. Ms. Jordan, I just want to say thank you for sticking with us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being on here.
No,
That's
absolutely.
Awesome.
The honor's all mine. And for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even if having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. And never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And to prove to them, you can stem out to something. So hashtag break the labels. So that being said, half hour, 33 minutes of your time. Say anything you want. Talk about anything you want. Freedom of speech, self-expressing. And starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
What a great question. So my name is Jordan Elizabeth Gelber. I am a New York City-based actress, and I also am the CEO and founder of a marketing production firm called Star Baby Enterprises. And we specialize in creating and curating original content at a grassroots level and pretty much helping people tell their story and amplify that story to the audience that they want to reach. I'm very fortunate to have a really great team. Me and my boyfriend, who's my business partner, he's the head of production. The two of us come up with some really great concepts, or we find projects that we really like, and really just help get to the next level. So I really pride myself in just really wanting to help creative people. I think it's such an interesting industry as it's changed so much, and you have the ability to do so much and reach to so many people. But I feel that a lot of people, they don't know how to navigate it because there's a lot of noise. So what we like to do is kind of like handhold people and let them know, like, it's okay, we got your back, and we really believe in your story. I think storytelling is huge right now. So it's like my buzzword of 2018. So yeah.
All right, let's jump right into it. With that being said, when I first approached you, what was your honest opinion? Do you think I'm someone you would want to work with?
Of course. I think that I really appreciate people that really march to be their own drum and let their passion guide them. I think, we live in so many different censorships right now that I really love when people are like, no, I want to break the status quo. My voice deserves to be heard. So I was really just drawn to the fact that you are a self-starter, and I think that it's so inspirational, the fact that you have the ability to do this, and you did this all because you believed in yourself, you believed in the message you were sharing, and you also wanted to connect to people. And I just love that. I think community-oriented things are great, and that was one of the things I really liked about you.
No, absolutely. With that being said, let's talk about your company. When did you start it? And let's see. I haven't done my interviews as of late, so I'm really rusty. All right, so when did you start it? And have you worked with people with disabilities, or are you willing to work with people with disabilities?
So to answer your first question, I started my business in 2013. I actually started because I had been a freelance graphic designer to kind of supplement my income while I was acting professionally in between jobs. And and I got into the fashion industry. And so I launched my company after working it for like a fashion startup for a year. And I learned a lot about like producing events and producing independent fashion shows. I quit my job after a show that I worked 6 months preparing. And I said, you know what, I can do this. And 2 weeks later, I started my own fashion show, and I raised like a good amount of money to do it. And that was a launch. And in terms of working with people with disabilities, I don't see it as a disability. It's just something that makes you more unique. And so if you are willing to be there and want to be a part of it, I'm always willing to work with all kinds of people. As you know, the industry grows, and as any business grows, you know, everybody has the ability to do what they love and do what they want to do. And so, yeah, of course, I think, you know, if there's a really great, I'm really into web series, and there was a web series I saw a few months ago where like the concept was that everyone in the world had a disability, and the weird guy was the guy that didn't have a disability. And I love that concept because it's just how people are just people. And I think that, yeah, everyone deserves a voice. So, of course, yeah, come on board. Let's make movies together.
Yeah, I would love that. I'm looking forward to it. And with that being said, what is your format like? Do you have your own website? Do you use Facebook? Like, how do you spread your message, number one, and what websites do you use?
Okay, so both my business and my acting business, my personal stuff as an actress, I'm on all the social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. YouTube, I'm on the fence about, because the fact that YouTube is dealing with so many ups and downs. I really believe in OTT platforms, which I don't know if you're familiar with that, but OTT means over the top. Basically, it's this really crazy, just like mashup of a simple concept, which is like virtual networks. So, for example, like Netflix could be considered an OTT platform. Hulu could be considered an OTT platform. Roku and Apple TV is a device that homes other OTT platforms. So instead of going through YouTube, I like to kind of create content to put on these other unique channels, both for myself and my business. I look and find work mostly. Oh, and I'm also on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very powerful tool. I think that those who are not utilizing it just to connect as a professional to other professionals, and yes, if you are creative, you are a professional, I think that's a wonderful tool. But that looking and finding work, I really found a great thing with Facebook. Facebook has these great groups now. I'm looking and finding so much work through there because people are just looking to connect and find like-minded people. And instead of just going to a networking party where sometimes it comes off very self-serving depending on the kind of party you're going to, it's great to like come back, just to go online, and you know that if you go into a filmmakers group and it's an international filmmakers group, let's say, that you could put a post up at like New York at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's only 12 o'clock in the afternoon in LA, and in London it's like 9 o'clock in the night, but there's always someone there willing to answer, to connect, to kind of give you the beat of what's happening in their area as well. So I find a lot of work through social networking and social media.
Don't mind me, I just had a net, so I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Might be allergies. Who knows?
I hear you. I have a summer cold. It happens every year when the seasons change. When it finally becomes warm outside, my body's like, oh, we're going to get sick now. So you're fine. Scratch away.
Now, with that being said, I'm on the fence with YouTube too. You know, I've been on there for 6.5 years, and recently I got my account turned off for absolutely no reason. You know, okay, I was using some parts because I like my commercials, TV shows, whatever you want to call this. I like to call my I now call it my Facebook talk show. So, for an example, I had a YouTube show. And I like to say, okay, we're taking a commercial break, and I like to play Mighty Morphin Power Ranger commercials. Or I worked for Toys R Us, and I would play like an LA Toys R Us commercial. Or in the beginning, I like BarkBox. I would play like a BarkBox commercial. And it's like, oh, it's a copyright infringement. But that's okay. We're not taking this as offense. Or no strikes against your account. We're just telling you, hey, you're using someone's copyright, but that's okay. No strikes are copyrighted. I went, okay. And I do a lot of fan-made parodies of Dumbo and Jumblebug. And I made one of King Kong. It's like, same thing. Got a notification saying, oh, you're using someone's film, but that's okay. They're not taking any action. We're just to let you know. And blah, blah, blah. And I do apologize. That's really itch.
If it makes you feel better, I'll scratch my own nose. Like, it's totally fine. Like,
I appreciate it. I see it's got changes. But then it's like next day it's like, oh, you're now suspended. And I'm like, for what? And then they give me a list saying grammar words, like certain keywords. I guess they didn't like maybe. I was thinking, because I said YouTube talk show, because it is a YouTube talk show. So it's like, oh, YouTube talk show, YouTube actors, because they were kind of like actors and upcoming people. It's like, nah, that couldn't be it. Hate speeches, no, I don't do that. Nudity or blood, no, I don't do that. And so I'll say, hate speeches, spammer, I don't do any of those. And I went down the entire list, like 6 things, like I didn't do any of these. And I was thinking, it might have been because I disliked a couple people's videos, so like I give them a thumbs down because it's kind of, creepy. And I guess they got offended and they flagged my thing for no reason. So that's the only thing. But I found out recently, there's no actual people that work for Google. It's okay, YouTube anyway, because YouTube is all computers. I'm like, alright, I guess Skynet is now taking over. Is there an actual person? And I called, like, yeah, you can appeal it, you go to the bottom of the list, fine, whatever. How long's the list? Can't tell you. Fine. How long is it going to be suspended for? Can't tell you. Is there someone I can talk to? No. Is there any... I said, is there someone underneath you I can talk to? No. Is there someone above you I can talk to? No. Someone in another apartment? No. What exactly do you do at Google? Oh, and it's kind of like... Oh, yeah, I told them the whole thing, what I do from start to finish, and they're like, oh, what the hell is that supposed to mean? And anyway, so now I'm in the process of re-uploading all my interviews to Facebook. So I'm on Facebook. Everyone, and this is a perfect plug for this, and I'm going to pass it to you in a minute. You can follow me on Facebook. That's right, I am on Facebook. My Facebook fan page, KeithAndrewNetWork.com. I'm on Twitter, at KeithAndrew88. Instagram, at the Keith Andrew Network. LinkedIn, same thing, Keith Andrew Network. So that's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Stage 32, but I don't really use it that much. I used to use Blogger because YouTube has the sharing thing. It's like, oh, you posted a video, let's share it with all your friends. So they created me a Blogger, Pinterest, Google Plus, and yet that I don't use it anymore. It's like I don't know what the usernames are for those sites. It's
There's just so many. You just tend to forget. Like if I don't change one username, I just forget all the other ones. Like it's just too many.
But passing it over to you, like, what is your 5 sites you have to use hands down?
So my marketing advice to everyone out there is definitely, I think first you have to decide who you are and what you're saying and who you want to reach. I think those are important. So like, for example, as a user, I love Pinterest. Like as a girl who just wishes she had a bulletin board to tack stuff up all the time, I love Pinterest as a user. It's great. But I don't have, or at this current period in time, I don't have any professional use or any yearning to utilize Pinterest as a professional platform for myself. But I have a couple clients that we've created shows for, and a huge part of it is very visual, and they utilize Pinterest to market themselves and create a call to action to their platforms.
Can you go on. I just have to let my cat in real fast. I do apologize.
Yeah, you're fine.
So I can still hear you.
So I mean, I definitely think Instagram is huge. This especially because Instagram elongated the time you can have a video up, which I think it's a minute, and Instagram Stories is great. I love Instagram. It's really wonderful. I mean, especially for videographers, graphic designers, actors and actresses, directors, anyone and talk show hosts. It's a great place to have just like a little sizzle that you can put on there that's a call to action to everything else. And also because Instagram is owned by Facebook, there's a lot of great interwoven sharing that you can utilize. I love Instagram for that fact, but they're changing a lot of rules with the hashtags, which is annoying. I also believe Twitter is in itself its own animal. You have to have a Twitter. A lot of people have Twitter. And then Facebook is still Facebook right now. Until the walls come down, it's still Facebook. You were mentioning before how you're putting all your videos up on Facebook, and I think that the new watch on Facebook's trying to be its own network right now, which I think is really interesting. It's a very smart decision on their part, especially with this like potential crumble of YouTube because the censorship issues that everyone is having. And I think that they did it right because like Facebook made itself a social networking platform. They made the rules for what your profile will be. Therefore, the videos that you can upload will probably have the same rules, and everyone's used to that structure. I think YouTube was originally like free speech for all, say what you want, do what you want. And then because they realized that they could capitalize more, they just started, what I don't appreciate is that they started going out and like monetizing videos without telling the users on YouTube, and I thought that was really not very cool. But any video platform, I mean, if you want to use YouTube to like host your stuff, Vimeo is still great. It's high quality. And I mean, YouTube right now is what it is. You can utilize it as best you can, but Facebook definitely. I think that the top three for me is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. No, and LinkedIn. Sorry.
I agree with you. And if there was a way to upload my videos to Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, I would do that. And I think I think YouTube's self-destructing.
I agree completely.
Now we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm gonna pass the show over to you after asking 2 more questions.
Cool.
Arlene Schofield.
My name is Shireen Snow.
My name is Carla A. Miles.
Diana Camuto.
This is Christine Dunford.
And me, Eden.
Caroline Macy. This is Walker Fannin.
Maria Camille Dixon.
I'm Dates Warden.
My name is Linda Presson, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
It's Russo.
Me, Mark Medley.
Hi everybody, this is Mark Neely.
Barry Papick.
This is Peter Bruno.
My name is Kyle Collier.
This is Julio Santiago, better known as Dynamite.
I'm Richard Epcar.
Orange Chow.
This is Kerrigan Mahan.
And this is Goldner.
And we both support
Keith Andrew.
And my name is Ron Wasserman, and I am supporting Keith Andrew and what he is doing, and you better do the same, or I'm going to come kick your ass.
Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 497. I'm here as the beautiful and talented Ms. Jordan. Thank you for sticking with us. What's the last 16 minutes left of the show? I want to stay focused on your marketing strategy, and maybe I can convince you and do a talk show. Hey, maybe the three of us can do a talk show. But on the subject, how do you feel about social media? Do you think social media can make you or break you? And with that being said, especially for me being kicked right in the nuts because I got my YouTube suspended, I think it can hurt you because I relied on it for everything because I have almost like 500 plus interviews, and all of a sudden, can't snap my fingers. I'm really bad at that. Oh well, I'm like, snap the finger, so I need to stop doing that. And then I'm like, it's gone, and I'm like, how was I can speak? How can people see your work? And I was like, well, I have a fan page. Oh, you have a YouTube? I used to. Oh, you should get one. I'm like, well, fine. Here's my fan page. I'm re-uploading all my episodes now. Now you have no excuses. It's all in one place. I do have a website. I just recently fixed it. I've uploaded my thing. Do you think about I like Vistaprint? That's who I go through. I like Vistaprint. The only thing I don't like is when I put a video up, I can't tell how many people are watching it. That's why YouTube was so good, because I had about 3 interviews. I got over a million, like 6.9, 1.4. So I'm thinking, well, if it happens on this site, if I move it over to Facebook, the following should, follow over. But this is not about me. This is about you. What do you think social media has had a big impact on your career, or do you think it can actually hurt your career?
I think it's such an interesting question, and I actually had a situation that brought this up this week, which is so ironic. I think if you give it the power, it does that. I think people need, for example, I think that people need to understand that social media is a public platform. It's a political platform. It's a creative platform. It's a social networking platform. And almost 10 years ago, I remember when Facebook first came out, I was in high school. I was the first kids from high school going to college that you could just use it, and that was different. It's just all via social. And I remember being a young actor in New York, about maybe I would think I was probably 19 at the time, and I went to a showcase, and one of the casting directors there, one of the agents there, was talking about the fact that she would go on Facebook and see how you present yourself. And I think a lot has changed. I don't think that, people that grew up with Facebook grow into adulthood with Facebook. And I consider my generation and above kind of that spectrum where we got it when it started, and then, it evolved as we evolved as people and as career goers. And they would talk about the fact that they wouldn't hire people if they saw them acting a certain way. And now I think that people need to realize that, if you plan on utilizing Facebook or utilizing social media for your professional marketing tools, you need to also let yourself in on the fact that your personal life is part of that, because you're sharing so much. If you're going to share, and if you're very selective, if you're using it as a social tool to connect to your friends, then be really private about it. But if you are planning on, I see a lot of real estate agents who do this, where they utilize social media to build, show their business, but they also want to show they're having a really good time, because they want to show that they're very successful, and hire them because they're so successful. They go on these trips, and also these are the homes. But then, it's a fine line. So I think that if you're too busy fluffing up your social networking, social media platforms, I think it's really evident, and it doesn't work because it doesn't send a good message. But I think that if you also could, it can make you, if you really put the time and the effort into it, it could really, really help your career. I had a really great friend, Natalie Friedman. She's a comedian and actress. I just gave her a plug. I love her. The other day she said to me, she's like, I checked out your Instagram the other day, because she's got over almost 100,000 followers. She's probably going to reach 100,000 followers by Monday, she told me.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, she's a master at this. So I was like, Sensei, tell me everything. So she said to me, she's like, no, Jordan, I was looking at your Instagram, and you post a lot of fitness selfies. I try to be really active. I used to be much more active, and now I'm getting back into it. And I got locked into this, always holding myself accountable for posting fitness selfies, and all my friends shamelessly make fun of me for it. But she said to me, she's like, as an actor and as a creator, as with a woman with her own business that creates stuff, you should be putting out more content about that, and maybe once in a while, putting that in. And if you want to do something for fitness, make that separately. So I think that, just be very honest about what you're putting out and how much you're putting out and what you're using it for, who your audience is. So I want to capture people who want to hire me for my company. I'll make sure that I put a lot of company stuff and tag my business, and make sure I'm putting up a reoccurring stuff on my business. My business has its own social media stuff. I mean, it has to. It shows relevancy. Also, social media allows you to look like you have a bigger audience than you do. And also, but the thing that I love most about it, and then I'll stop filibustering, I promise. The thing I love most about it is the fact that you could be in the middle of nowhere and have a brilliant idea, and but not have any other way to reach out to the world except through social media. And you know that on the other side of the world, in the middle of nowhere over there, there's a person who feels the same way. And you can connect, and then you find out there's more people that feel that way, and there's more people that feel that way, and more people that feel that way, and they can make a movement because of that. I mean, like, not to get political, but look at the whole Me Too movement. That's because there's so many people who are saying their voice loud enough now, where the numbers show because people are hiding behind their profiles. But in a good way. I'm trying not to cast shade on that. I'm saying it's a good way. People can amplify their voice. So, yeah.
No, absolutely. Now, what is your opinion? Do you think the Keith Andrew Network is a movement? Some people call it a bowel movement. But what is your opinion about my work?
About your work? Specifically, I think your work is great. I mean, I found it because people in my community shared it. And then I went on your page and I saw the fact that, like, I love the fact that you have your cover photo, your video. I think because video is king right now. Content is king, especially video. Video is huge. So much of what I do is strategic video marketing. So that really drew me in. And that was cool is that I got to see familiar faces. So it also knew that, like, okay, people I trust him. I'm going to work with him. Right. And I really just love the fact that you're like, I want to show that everyone has a chance. And I was like, I believe in that. And I'm really impressed by with you because as a marketer, you know, I get a little headstrong with the fact that if someone's message isn't clear throughout and everything looks different, I'm just like, this person looks confused. Is this going to make me look confusing, you know, if I don't have it? And what I loved is that your mission was evident on your website, on your social media, through your videos, and I was really impressed by that. It wasn't all over the place, and you have a great library of footage that you've done because of the fact that you are so consistent with what you do. No,
absolutely, and you sort of transition. You know, from over the years, you know, I don't actually why I seem like I wish I had a quarter for every time I said this. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Mm-hmm. You know, when I started, I did 72 phone interviews, and I can't say it now again. And then season 1, I didn't want to be seen because I had anxiety. Now I want to be seen. So when I first started, and I can try to get you on here, and there you are. So pretty much what you see on the screen on my phone is what season 1 was, and then season 2 was the same thing. Okay, here's the camera, and it's going to pick you up, and I'm gonna be in a little box. That's season 1 and 2. Season 3, my brother told me about Google Hangout, and I found Skype and Skype recorder. And so I'm like, now it's cut in half. So right now I'm on the right, you're on the left. But when we do the editing, it's going to flip. You're going to be on the left and I'm going to be on the right or whatever. And so you see the process from, you know, going from the using the phone to using the phone, from recording from the computer, from actually now having a split screen. And I tried using Zoom, and you have to pay for it. But the free version was alright. But what I didn't like about it is because right now I share the room with my brother. So you can see this, but if our viewers can't, you see everything behind me. But when we do the editing, it's got to be cut right down the middle. So it's got to cut everything off. So what I didn't like about Zoom was pretty much when it goes to you, we see everything. And you have a nice place, by the way. And for me, it's kind of like, oh, he's in his bedroom. So it's kind of like, oh, and then like, oh, you can change the background. By that, that's like $50. I'm like, well, I get to it when I get to it. But I'm like showing you the process. Hey, for the past 4.5 years, this June will be 5. So for 5 years, you've seen the whole thing I'm going to go through. But with that being said, with the last 5 minutes, I'm going to pass it over to you. Was there anything you want to talk about? Any funny stories you want to share? This is your time.
I don't know if there's any, I don't know, I'm sure I'll come up with a funny story later, but I think that the thing I want to share most is that to everyone who watches people like me and watches people like you, there's no excuse to not start your dream now, and you have the ability to do so, you know? I think that, you could wake up tomorrow and say, every Saturday I'm going to shoot me running in the park on my iPhone, because iPhone's shooting 4K now, and just like start making stuff or doing stuff and just talking about your voice. I think the cool thing I'm doing now is that like there's a huge surge in just like making projects. I mean, I'm happy, knock on wood, to say that like we're producing like 3 feature films right now, and I think a theater production and a web series, and it's just every day we come up with new ideas, and we're just always looking for people to connect with. So I think the thing that I just want to say is that once it comes out, that when people want to find me, like I found you, they could just reach out and say, I have a great idea, and we're always willing to listen. So, yeah.
No, absolutely. I do have a couple questions for you off the air.
Yeah. Awesome.
About wrapping up our interview segment, how can people follow you? I know we talked about this earlier, but just so we wrap up the show, are you on Twitter, LinkedIn, Stage 32, or is there any websites we didn't talk about that you would recommend?
Yes, I'll plug in a few. So for those who want to find my personal stuff, they can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Jordy_Starbaby. So that's JORDIE_STARBABY. And for my company, our Twitter and Instagram, see, I'm scratching my nose now too. Our Twitter and Instagram is at StarbabyENTNYC. My website, starbabyenterprises.com. I don't have a business site for my acting yet. I'm working on it. But you could find me on LinkedIn at Jordan Elizabeth Gelber, as well as Facebook as Jordan Elizabeth Gelber.
No, absolutely. And the same.
Oh, you asked me a website really quickly. I would love to plug in one of my favorite affiliates is this company called Footprint Network. I put a lot of the shows that we work with on there, and one of our shows is going to debut their first season this month on that network. So I always love reaching out to them. They're always looking for new content. So.
No, absolutely. I look forward to it. And, for me, I'm on Twitter. I'm a big fan of Twitter. So Twitter at KeithAndrewNetWork, Instagram at KeithAndrewNetwork, Facebook, my fan page, KeithAndrewNetwork.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Stage 32. I'm everywhere. But for people who want to submit questions to the Keith Andrew Network that I can take online for new subjects, email me at KeithAndrewNetwork@gmail.com. And I would love to read some of your comments on the air and some subjects you want me to talk about as my guests. While wrapping up our interview, when I first approached you to be a guest, actually you approached me. What made you approach me? Actually, yeah. I usually say when I first approached you, how did you feel?
No, I like hardcore stalked you down. I saw the interview you did with Eve Austin, who's a good friend of mine, and we produced one of our first original short with Eve. She was our lead actress, and I saw her interview, and I was like, I have to do an interview with this guy. I have to find out what he's all about. And then I went to your page. I saw that you worked with Deborah Twist and a few other people, I think from Actors Green Room. And but I guess what just approached me is that I saw that you wanted to, talk to people and open questions and things like that. And I was really impressed just that you did this. I couldn't fathom doing this. So it was just really impressive.
Yeah, this is really important to me. I want to do this until the day I die. I'm not saying that to be cute or funny. I'm just very passionate about this.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's most important.
Now, stay tuned for Off the Air. I do have a couple questions for you. But wrapping up our interview, don't mind me. I haven't done my interviews as of late because I have been working at Toys R Us and they're closing. So I've been focusing on that, and YouTube got my mind all upset because they took away my account. So I've been focusing on top of work and finding another job, re-uploading all my 500 plus interviews. So it's kind of maybe a little rusty, and my mind's like a little ping pong ball going all over the place. But wrapping up our show, I do have a couple questions off the air. But it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to working with you down the road.
You too. Thank you so much.